Present. Arms.
Attention. Present. Off.
Order. Arms.
Order. Off.
May we please have a moment of silence? Thank you.
We will never forget. Today marks the 18th anniversary of the single deadliest terrorist attack in U.S. history, and the single deadliest incident for firefighters and law enforcement officers in the history of the United States. 2,996 souls were lost, more than 6,000 people were injured, and there was approximately $10 billion in infrastructure damage. 4 passenger airplanes were hijacked by Al-Qaeda terrorists on the morning of September 11, 2001. At 8:46 a.m., the first plane, American Airlines Flight 11, struck the North Tower of the World Trade Center. At 9:03 a.m., the second plane, United Airlines Flight 175, crashed into the South Tower. Within 42 minutes, both buildings collapsed. A third plane, American Airlines Flight 77, crashed into the Pentagon, and at 10:07 a.m., a fourth plane crashed near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, after some brave passengers tried to overtake the hijackers. President George W. Bush proclaimed September 11th as Patriot Day. This is a day that we reflect, remember, and resolve to never forget those who lost their lives that fateful day. In addition, let us never forget to honor the freedoms that so many have fought and died for, so that we may live in this land of the free and home of the brave.
So before I introduce our guest speaker, I just wanted to take a quick second to pay tribute and to not forget my roommate at the time. That's Beth Quigley. The bottom line is that Beth made life better. Without Beth, it would be very easy for all of us to feel as if we'll never laugh or cry as hard again, feel as challenged and alive again, feel as safe, or feel as special as she made us feel. But the truth is that because of Beth, we did laugh that hard, we did cry that hard, we did feel that alive, and we will always be that special. And those are the things that this world can never take away.
I was back up in New York City and was at the World Trade Center site. I was meeting with a bunch of my former colleagues, and we got a special tour of the site, and we're given an opportunity to go up into the roof of one of the buildings where you have this amazing view of now the memorial. And we talked about actually never forget. And I think one of the reasons why I'm here today is because you guys can't forget something that you didn't remember, that you don't remember, right? And so I guess my challenge to you is to try to get some sort of context around what this day means for U.S. and world history, and for your friends, for your parents, for people, because I can try not to forget, but hopefully I can give you guys a little bit of context about that day. And I spent that summer of 2001 working in 7 World Trade Center on the 23rd floor, and I can tell you, like, from a kid from Salisbury walking into that building every day, I thought I was on top of the world. I just felt like, man, I'm doing the coolest stuff in the world. I was running around the city of New York with these cops and firefighters. I was meeting the mayor, and just got to do some really amazing stuff as a 21-year-old. I left on August 11th to come back for Salisbury Soccer's preseason, and it was about an hour ago that Gabe woke me up. When you're in college, you get to sleep a little bit later, which is nice. But he woke me up and said a plane just hit the World Trade Center. And I turned on the TV, and at first, I think this is one of the things, is before that day, when something like that happened, you assumed it was an accident. And I thought, like, what? Like, was a plane doing? It must be one of these small planes. And turned on the TV, and there was just a huge hole. I'm sure you guys have seen the picture of that where the plane entered the North Tower. And I think Gabe and I knew immediately, based on where the plane entered the North Tower, that was a real problem for Beth. I was desperately calling people who had become, my colleagues and my friends that summer, trying to make sure that they were okay. Got a hold of them, asked if I could help, and later on that evening they said, if you can get up here, please come back. We need your help. And so I took the first train on September 12th back into New York City. Got out of Penn Station, and inside of Penn Station there was nobody. This is a place where millions of people come in and out of every day. And got outside looking for a taxi, and there was nobody. The city had just gone quiet. If you could leave, you were gone. But this was Pier 92 and Pier 94, and this was the Z. These went out to people all over New York City. It was a badge we made up after. The Z meant that I could enter whatever the hot zone was, the red zone. So any border inside of Ground Zero, the Z gave me access to that. And then these were for different areas of the family assistant, for the Emergency Operations Center. So to get into the EOC, to get up to the podium, get on to the Coast Guard ship, which was called the USS Comfort, which was docked there, and you could sleep there and catch a meal if you wanted. I forget what the G was for. But then this was the Family Assistance Center, and then the M eventually stood for the mortuary. After a week of being there, I went up to the head of the agency and I said, I have to go home. I'm in college and soccer team's playing, and I'd like to sit on the bench. And he was like, you are not going anywhere. I was like, boss, I'm in college. I don't know that college thinks that that's that cool. And he was like, where do you go to college? I said, I go to Salisbury University. He screams out to the front, to his admin, and says, get me the president of Salisbury University on the phone. And when he yelled, he meant it, and he did. And she tried to get the president wasn't in the office, got the dean of students. And he said, listen, I don't have much time to talk, but my name's John and I'm Matt. I'm calling on behalf of the mayor of New York City, and we have your student Tim Kaine here, and he's not coming home until we say he is, and when he comes home, there's not going to be any problems. All right? Okay? He was like, great, bye, and just hung up the phone. He was like, see, you can stay as long as we want. Our job, I guess just a little bit about what it is, and people have questions, shout, was to bring the resources of the city of New York to bear to clean this up, to get people back into their apartments, to help with the recovery. In the beginning, it was about finding, hopefully you thought it was a rescue. You thought you were going to rescue. That was like, how do we rescue and how are we going to clean this up? And events like these are called mass casualty events. They have protocols both from the city of New York and from the federal government. One of the things that happens in mass casualty events is you need refrigeration trucks. Those refrigeration trucks are to store bodies until they can be processed and autopsied and identified and given back to the family. And we line those refrigeration trucks up and down the West Side Highway in New York City, and then never got to use any of them. And because the nature of this disaster was unlike anything we had ever seen before, and most of the people who were killed were gone. Only 291 bodies were found intact, and there were very, very few people rescued, and everybody was rescued that day. Nobody was rescued really after.
Yeah, Beth, her family never found any DNA whatsoever, so they had to decide at some point, all right, we want to have a funeral, we want to have a casket, when do we do it, how do we do it? So these are some of the really difficult questions, and we spent each night for a couple nights going around from hospital to hospital. There's all these hospitals down there. We're just walking, and every single hospital had the same answer. There's nobody here.
Yeah, so Calvin was the sort of number 2 person in our office at the time. And there's a Frontline documentary that you could Google and watch, and he features very prominently in that. And he was in the North Tower lobby when the South Tower collapsed. The South Tower was the first one to collapse. The tower begins to collapse. The call comes over the radio. This is all on TV, and people begin to scatter. And Calvin's in the shop with a group of people, and he went one way, and everybody else that he was with just happened to turn and go out another way, and none of those people made it out. If you went there today, it would still be a construction zone. It would look like a normal block for sure, but you know, there are 3 skyscrapers being built today. So, you know, I'm sure it was a very, very long time before there was any sort of semblance of normalcy around the building.
And so they don't know it yet, but they're in a race against time to get as many people out of there as possible. So the firefighters are going into the building to try to get everybody out. Here's the problem: elevators don't work. So they got to climb the stairs. What's one of the problems with climbing those stairs when you're trying to get up? People are coming down. Tons of people are coming down, so you got to get up through there. Hose, so you'll see, and in the clip we're going to watch, they're going to have a lot of hose with them. Plus, firefighters wear packs. One of you is going to put this heavy pack on here in a second that has air in it. All right. If you're in good shape, that air is going to last you maybe 15 to 30 minutes if you're in really good shape, depending on what you're doing. You're going to climb 110 stories, fight a fire for 15 minutes. You think that fire right there is being put out in 15 minutes?
No.
And then go all the way back down to the street to get another air bottle? No. So you're going to bring a bunch of stuff with you, including extra air bottles too, which you'll see in the clip. A lot of the guys carrying extra stuff. Moving on, firefighters would also obviously carry a mask so that they could breathe in the fire. And one thing he's definitely not put on because he probably smells pretty bad. This is a Nomex hood. You'll see the guys wearing this. That's supposed to protect his lovely hair he's got and his ears from fire. Jacket. So basically, firefighter gear is like a giant oven mitt. You ever use an oven mitt to take something out of the oven? All right, and your hand does not get burned because it's inside protection. If you look at the inside of this, it kind of looks like the inside of an oven mitt, and you can go into a pretty hot room. There you go. You also have gloves. They're in his pockets, but you don't have to put gloves on. This part we're going to get a little bit of weight to it. The air bottle in the back, that will give him about 15-30 minutes, so he'd have to carry something else besides that extra air here, in case somebody wants to get a picture of these so you can split them apart completely. It's got a little bit of weight to it? You thought it would be a lot heavier? Yeah, it's because you're in good shape. That's why. So, this probably right here probably weighs like 30 or 40 pounds, what he's got, between the pack and his gear and his helmet. But you'd also be carrying extra equipment, probably 50 or 60 pounds extra you'd be carrying. So you're looking at lugging up about 100 pounds worth of stuff up the steps, 110 stories, with people coming down and you having to climb up.